Good morning, everybody. Farley here. April 17th. It is Tuesday. We got a huge slate of Major League Baseball to get to, and I got a lot of information to get to, so I'm going to jump right into it. Yesterday, went 2-0. We had the Atlanta Braves both with a 2-1 victory. Atlanta Braves, Teheran getting his revenge. Nice outing, 2-1 over the Phillies. Outdueled Nola. And then we also had the Seattle Mariners at home against the Dallas Keuchel and the Houston Astros, getting good value there as an underdog. Both dogs coming through as outright winners. And that's a great way to play baseball right there, is to get a plus 100, plus 120, plus 130, anywhere in those range. You're 500 better, you're winning. You're winning money. So that's the range we'll like to stay in, and I'm going to get to a little bit more today. All right. Oh, by the way, Dallas Keuchel, poor guy. 1-3 in Seattle. Getting another loss, and then Paxton, what a gem. Opening inning home run, I was a little worried there, and then pitches the rest of the game with only 2 more hits the entire game. So we got a good win there. Today, we have an early game I want to get to, Toronto Blue Jays. I put this game in yesterday, it was rained out, and what's changed to today? Nothing. So I am going to back Garcia, who is great out of the gates. If you look at Garcia's history, April and May is when to back Garcia. You can fade him later in the season. Skoglund, not enough data here to really break down for him. I don't want to judge too quickly on his 9+ ERA. But here we have Toronto has a plus 19 run differential from the opponents they've played. They've been scoring a ton, 73 runs this year. They're one of the highest in baseball. Meanwhile, Kansas City, one of the lowest in baseball. 39 runs so far this year. 20 run differential to the negative for the Kansas City Royals. So I will be fading them now. Here's where the big play comes in. So now we're going to shift to the afternoon game where we're getting Danny Duffy, the veteran, on the bump against Biagini. And he's getting plus 152, plus 150 across the board in value. If Toronto wins the first game, which obviously I'm betting they do, I'm going to be making a play on Kansas City in the second game. This is a position I love to take. When there's a reason to take the other team to split this day series, do so. So here we got a veteran on the mound. Often we'll have players that are sitting in one side and playing in the other, or playing in the one side and then resting in the other. So less motivation. They'll gladly take a split on the day. You just don't want to lose both games. So Kansas City, fading them early. Second half of the day, I'm taking Kansas City Royals. So we're getting good value at $1.50 for $1. So the second game I want to get to, those are my 2 picks. Again, one is contingent upon the other. If by chance Kansas City wins the opening game, I'm not taking Kansas City in the second game. However, if Toronto wins in the first game, which I'm betting they will, then I'm taking Kansas City in the second game as well. Now, the other play I want to make is, or not make, but I just want to point out, okay? I'm just pointing this one out. There is an opportunity here to get good value with Minnesota playing in Puerto Rico against Cleveland Indians. So I know Corey Kluber is fantastic. He is fantastic. However, if there's ever a time to fade Corey Kluber, it's early. It's early in the season, so check it out. He is, in April, over 15 games started over the last 3 years. He has a 4.22 ERA, and he has a 4-7 record. In May, a 3.9 ERA and a 6-6 record. He then drops into Corey Kluber form. 2.37 ERA, a 2.71, a 2.56, and start racking up the wins there later in the season. But early, he has struggled. Opponents hitting 249 and 248 in April and May. Now we're going against Odorizzi. Now Odorizzi used to be with Tampa Bay. Now he's with Minnesota. Out of the gates, 3.15 ERA and a 2.91 ERA. So he's the opposite. Comes out strong, and then it jumps up to a 4.88, 4.48, and opponents start hitting over 250 against him. Early, though, 2.27 and a 2.13 batting average, respectively, in April and May. So we got some value here with Odorizzi. going against Corey Kluber early in the season. The other thing to note is on the road, Odorizzi's very even to when he's at home. He has a winning record, 14-10, and a 3.87 ERA on the road, whereas Corey Kluber has a away record of 3.38, 19-14 over the last 3 seasons, respectively. So there's a little bit of value. This game should probably be Indians minus 110, maybe 120, but we're getting minus 180, and we have Minnesota at plus 170. So I would, if I had a lean here, it's not a bad, you want to give me $1.70 on my dollar. I think I'll take that. I definitely would not be taking the Cleveland side with what's at risk. So now there are some other factors that they're playing in Puerto Rico and those kinds of things, and that's hard to cap in this game. But if I had to decide to take, it would be Minnesota. All right, but my official pick of the day is Toronto run line early at minus 110, and then contingent that they win, it'll be Kansas City in the afternoon. If there's any other picks, I'll throw them down in the comments. Be sure to follow that later today because I may have another pick by the end of the day. I got some more capping to do. Also, just real quick, yesterday there was a couple comments, and I just want to give you my approach, my opinion on those comments about taking the Brewers yesterday and taking the Mets. So for me, my first approach to capping a game is to go contrarian, is to look at the other side, to look at the underdog. If I'm taking a favorite, it's got to be a really compelling reason to do so. If not, I just pass and move on to another game. So yesterday, I had 2 passes on Milwaukee and the Mets because Castillo, for the Reds, has pitched well against Milwaukee, and he did again yesterday. That was my concern, and I didn't want to risk that. So I passed on the Reds versus the Brewers. And in the other one, it was really hard to take. DeGrom, great pitcher, good one to back. He had a great outing. He was winning when he left. And then my fear was you have the Washington Nationals. Sports Illustrated picked them to win the World Series this year. Hard to fade them. And I would have had to take the run line at minus 1.5 against the Nationals, who can put up some runs. Sure enough, they put up 8 runs and steal that game and win 8-6. But just I say that because I want to give my approach to capping a game. That's just my approach. I'm not saying it's the right way, the only way, or the best way. I'm just saying that's my way of approaching a game. And when I'm selecting my spots, it's usually going to be to find value and possibly go with an underdog. Most of the time I'm going with an underdog because I don't mind winning 50% of my games in baseball as long as they're all underdogs. That's winning money. So there you go. Thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon.